Hi ho, guys and gals and folk. I'm Russian Bear, and today we will talk about pluses of living in Russia. Uh, about the country, about the state, about the environment, what's good in Russia. And when I had idea to write this video, to record this video, why I had it? Because I've just recognized it this epidemic situation with coronavirus. I recognized that in a lot of countries you can't go outside to the street. You got huge fines, and in Russia we also have these fines. We also have laws which kind of forbid us to go outside, but no one care. And I thought, if I would live in another country, I would have to stay at home for 2 months. And in Russia, I walked to the street every day. And I walked in the park. I had social distance, like 10 meters or maybe more, because I'm very aware about the problem. And a lot of people, they take this distance. But actually it was like, makes sense, because stay at home for 2 months, it's bad for your health. Every person should walk every day 5 kilometers. If you wouldn't walk at the street 5 kilometers per day, you could be ill. Your immune system will go wrong. You need to walk a lot. You need to breathe fresh air a lot. So what's first plus in Russia? It's that Russian people, they make sense. We Russians, we have a lot of stupid laws, for example, but we do not abide them. We ignore these stupid laws. We have so much fucking stupid laws. You can't imagine how. More than in any country. But we just ignore them. We have even such like fairy tale, like a word in our folk. We have a lot of laws, but we do not oblige to follow them, as Russian people say. So yeah, it's first plus. I mean, it's plus and minus, you could say, because of this we do not respect laws, and it's bad because, for example, a lot of people, they could go at the bad speed when they drive a car. So a lot of people struggle from stuff that they do not abide laws, they do not follow the laws. But as in Russia we have a lot of stupid laws, and also actually in every country there are a lot of stupid laws and a lot of situations when following the law, it's not a good thing. So there is a thing like makes sense, thing like to make right thing. So sometimes you have like two options: to make right thing or to follow the law. And in Russia, actually, it's quite often if if you will go to the police, we have bad police. It's not the plus of Russia. Better than in previous years, but still, yeah. So, but I mean, between people, the relations, and in a lot of cases, we do not follow the rules. We follow common sense. We follow our internal feeling of what is right. It's kind of Russian, part of Russian character, to do what's right. So it's a good thing. In Russia, you would often meet such stuff. Of course, at the same time, there are a lot of bad things happen because of this kind of unresponsibility, you could say. But there are a lot of good things also. So, for example, yeah, I mean, all over the world, people, they stayed at home. And okay, it's good to stay at home, so more people won't become ill, but it doesn't make sense for you to stay at home if you would have bad health from it. I mean, you need to walk outside to be healthy. Okay, some people, they have huge houses and they could just walk from one corner to another, but most of people, they have tiny places all over the world, not only in Russia. And so the best thing is to have social distance out the street, and yeah, to wear masks and all this stuff. So it's first thing. Then pluses in Russia. Nature. In Russia we have huge places, huge plains, mountains, rivers, lakes, and a lot of places they are beautiful, and a lot of places they are super cheap to buy. I mean, you could buy like 400 kilometers from Moscow, you could buy a place like 10 соток, okay, 100 meter square, with a house, with electricity. Okay, there wouldn't be some gas or something like this, but kind of it's livable. You could buy a house for $1,000 for real, in very good place, where super good nature, where there is a shop nearby, and totally livable. So we have lots of lands, very pure, very good ecology, and it's almost free. So of course it will be not free to live there at winter, because at winter heating costs a lot if it's electricity heating. And yeah, but still, I mean, it's good plus of Russia, it's beautiful nature and a lot of very pure places, good for ecology. Of course, any city will be bad. I mean, any big city, as in all other countries. But I mean, in Russia, it's much cheaper to live in good place, in very good place with good nature. Also, it's actually, yeah, just cost of living. Cost of living in Russia, it's very low. So if you could live very good in Russia for $500 per month. So if you have like a salary, $500 for one person, you will be quite all right. I mean, if you have a house, if you have a flat, if you do not need to rent something, $500, you would have very good food. You would have, I mean, all time internet. How much internet costs in Russia, by the way? Yeah. Another good thing about Russia is internet. We have one of the most fastest and cheapest internet all over the world. No much people know about it. But I know that, for example, in USA, one of my friends, he has internet in USA, very fast one, but he pay for it, it's near Washington. He pay for it $100 per month. Guys, in Russia, you could have the same internet for $5 or $10. So in USA, it's 10 times more. Yeah, and this is kind of, in Russia, it's very fast and cheap internet, it's true. Another thing, it's kind of, yeah, freedom in digital especially. So, for example, in USA and in Europe, you can't use torrents, because internet providers, they would follow you, they will make fines for you. Russia, it's the country of piracy, I'll say. Everybody uses torrents. Everybody. Okay, people won't boast about it, and I wouldn't also boast about it. Oh, I just downloaded something like this. But still, I mean, as our government, they quite understand that people in our country, they are poor, I'll say, compared to some other countries. Okay, it's like, yeah, we are poor, but costs for internet, for example, it's quite low. So it's kind of interesting balance. I mean, okay, so government understands that people, they do not have money to buy like cinema in internet. They will download it, and there are lots of ways to do it. There are darknet also, for example, this Tor. So anyway, if a human wants to download something, he will do it. So you can't forbid it. But in some countries, If you use torrent, you could be fined, you could go to jail even. In Russia, no one cares. You could use lots of billions torrents and no one will ever bother to like do something with you. Yeah, this is good thing about Russia. I mean, it's again like the first thing. We have a lot of stupid laws, but people do not care about stupid laws. Okay, we care about important laws. Do not steal, do not murder. But stupid laws, it's stupid laws. I mean, for example, I'm for copyleft. I'm for information freedom. I'm for sharing stuff over the internet. Of course, I'm trying to be careful myself, and yeah, I understand that you need. Also, of course, we need to support creators who made stuff. Like creators, we should support. We do not need to support huge corporations who have already billions, made billions and billions. They continue to make. If you do not have money to buy cinema and you download it, okay. If you have money, you support even big corporations, so they will make better content. It's all right. Yeah. So I mean, so in Russia, it's kind of more fair for the common folk in a lot of things. Another plus in Russia, looking to the current US situation, is that we do not have rights. Guys, Russia is the country where we didn't had rights for like years and years, thousands of years, I'll say. Okay, we had revolution in the past, and not one even, but actually it's just not part of our mind to go and protest by beating something, by stealing something, by burning buildings. No. Russian people, they are quite, okay, they could say they are scared to do something illegal. I mean, seriously illegal. It's, again, coming back to the first thing. Okay, like stupid laws, we avoid them and we do not care, but we care a lot about serious laws. Because for serious laws, you could go to jail, and jails in Russia, they're really bad. People very scared to go to jail, for real. I mean, some jails, for example, in Norway, when Russian person will see jail in Norway, they will say, "Oh my God, these guys in jail, they live better than I am." But Russians jail, they're scary for real. Okay, you could exist there, you could live there. It's not the end of the world if you will get there. Actually, in Russia, we have like such word. Do not think that you won't go for jail. It's like Russian people talk like this. Do not, because so it's from USSR Times came, and it's kind of the thing that okay, no one knows. You could go to jail, so you should be prepared for it. I'll say in modern situation, it's not so actual. It's not so hot. So if you do not do something wrong, it's very small chance that something bad would happen to you. But of course, yeah, in every country there is such possibility. Maybe in Russia it's higher a bit because of our corruption in police, for example. Yeah, we have bad police. We have a lot of good things and a lot of bad things. But yeah, it's from time to time. I mean, some people, they're good there, but some bad. So you never know. And yeah, it's good to have connections in Russia. It's always like this. So most of people, they try to have connection in different departments of their life. For example, it's good to have a friend policeman or a friend from some different areas. For example, I am totally individual guy. I do not have connections. I do not have connections in different areas, and if I have, I do not use them. And a lot of people, they stopped. It's like it came from USSR, this tradition to have connections. Now it's not so like important thing. It's because actually it's kind of more to business. I mean, if you make business in Russia, then yeah, it's obligatory to have connection, and you will earn it eventually if you make sense. So in Russia, it's important to make sense. I mean, to be how it would be fair. fair in relation between human, to understand other human interests. It's how to make good, to be a successful businessman in Russia is to understand other people's interests and like follow the rules, I'll say, which unwritten anywhere. So what's good? Yeah, it's bad thing about Russian, by the way, Russian business. I mean, a lot of things, bad thing. It's a lot of things come from connections. So we have not really good competition in business and in policy, in politics. A lot of stuff came from connection and bad for country, but in time it go away. I mean, every day it become better. So let's go back. What else good in Russia? Okay, Russian women, Russian girls, they're the best. I'm sorry, guys, but Russian girls, they're the best. The most smart, because yeah, Russian literature, and we still have very good education in schools, and yeah, and a lot of people they grow up reading Russian literature. You can't read it because you have it at school obligatory. So actually, yeah, Russian girls, not of them, of course, there are good and bad in every country, but I traveled a lot of different countries and I like Russian girls the most. They are very different and they are very beautiful. So I'm sorry, but here I am patriot of Russian girls. I'm not patriot of our state, for example. I am quite a position guy, maybe, but girls. It's what I'm proud of. What I love. Okay, Russian girls, Russian food, of course. It's the best food in the world, I think. It's mix of French cookings, some Western, Eastern. I think Russian food, Russian cooking. We took everything what we could from all other countries and took all the best. And we have very deep tradition in making food. It's kind of the Russian art, I'll say. One of a few Russian arts which okay, French, they have their own approach to the food, to make some quite complex things, maybe. I say sometimes it's even weird how they do stuff. Russian cooking, it's quite simple and it's also always super tasty. Again, I traveled a lot over different countries. I lived in Paris for a year, in France and Paris. Russian cooking is the best. Russian food. Of course, I love stuff in other places also, but there are not much places in the world better than Russian. It's actually, but by the way, it's very funny. But in Russia, it's also very interesting, very good McDonald's. I mean, okay, I'm fan of fast food also. I like to test it in different countries, and I tested everywhere when I came. I go to McDonald's to try it, and Russian is the best one. Okay, in the Netherlands also some McDonald's they are not bad. So yeah, it's just another funny thing. But yeah, okay, we have problems. Pizza. You could buy quite good pizza in Russia sometimes. Italian pizza, where Italian chef make pizza, but in a lot of places pizza quite shitty, guys. So not everything good in Russia, of course. It's better to make pizza by yourself. By the way, Shtukenция, my girlfriend, she makes pizza in oven and it's very tasty. You could find her recipes at her YouTube channel, link in below description. In description of this video, Russian Beauty, her channel called. Come and you will find out some Russian recipes. Yeah. What else good in Russia? Language. Russian language. You know, I very much love French. French sounds quite beautiful. And I learned French in the school. And I know a bit French. Salut, c'est encore moi. Salut, comment tu vas? Some songs I know. I know Spanish a bit, like Para bailar la bamba, se necesita. You know, some songs, a lot of songs I know. and English. Okay, I'm learning English. I didn't learn it at school. I learned English while I played computer games. That's why my English quite shitty. But still, I'm trying. But Russian language, it's very special thing. I mean, it's just unbelievable, perfect in any side, in any way. I mean, it's worth to live in Russia only to learn Russian language, I'll say. It's one of the most beautiful and rich languages. You could say in Russia, you could write in Russia, you could read in Russia. All these Russian classics, when you read it in original, it sounds so beautiful. You know, even, for example, if we'll take, okay, Tolkien, John Ronald Reuel Tolkien, who wrote Lord of the Rings, you know, it's much better to read it in Russian, because in Russian it sounds much more beautiful. In Muravyev, translation of Muravyev, you could find his translation. If you would compare a Russian version of Lord of the Rings and original Russian, it's better. It's amazingly, but it's better. So yeah, Russian language, it's huge, big advantage for living in Russia. I mean, it's what I love, our language. Of course, we have like a lot of different stuff, a lot of arts, some composers, some musicians, some artists, but every country has artists, composers. So yeah, we have some great ballet school, we have theater, we had quite good cinema in USSR. Right now cinema, sometimes it's also good, but mainstream Russian cinema, it's quite shitty. Anyway, I mean, there are a lot of good and bad in Russia, and I don't know if to say the truth, to be senior 100%, would I want to be born in any wealthy country, I'll say. Okay, Russia, it's poor country. But yeah, by the way, if you are, for example, freelancer, for example, I make videos at YouTube. I have like $700 per month from AdSense, from my YouTube ads, and I live for this money. And I'm quite happy. We live together for this money. We do not need more. We get quite good for us. And so if you get your money in dollars and you live in Russia, you will be very good here. Another interesting thing in Russia, by the way, it's our seasons. We have very hot summer, not very hot, but it's kind of warm and hot. We have good summer, better than in Egypt or in some very hot countries. Sometimes it would be hot. I mean, we have real summer, real autumn, real winter with the snow, and real spring. So we have very bright seasons. I mean, they are not like it's not a cold or it's not a middle summer. In summer sometimes it could be like 30 degrees, but in most cases it's 25, something like this. So it's summer. Autumn, it's gold at all trees, golden trees. Winter, it's always snow, a lot of snow, and sometimes it could be cold, sometimes it could be like, I think medium, it's like -10, but it's quite all right. And spring, beautiful spring. We all wait spring after the winter. I love Russian seasons also, it's very good. What's good in Russia? Russian people. They're okay. In the past, we had some problems with after revolution. A lot of like Russian elite were destroyed by Bolsheviki, by communists who take power, by Lenin. It's called Red Terror, and they destroyed a lot of elite people, like intelligent people, like teachers, like doctors, all generals. I mean, a lot of this layer of intellectual elite was destroyed there. And then we also had terror by Stalin, and Stalin also destroyed a lot of people, Russian people. Then we had World War, and a lot of people died. I mean, people like heroes, like one of the best people. So we had certain, I'll say, losses over this past century of the best of our genophont. I mean, so, but right now, I mean, it become much better, because still any person who born and who read these books, who grow looking at your history, I think you getting your Russian spirit eventually. Okay, we have bad and good people, and as in every country, but still, what we have in Russia, people there very similarly. I mean, they tell what they think. They do not smile you just to smile to you. They do not smile you to be nice. The people in Russia, they are like they are. You see the person and you understand who is it. Okay, even from sometimes people, as we had quite hard times recently, people do not smile too much to person who they do not know. It's kind of like Russian barrier, I'll call it. That Russian people, they're quite distant with the strangers before they start to talk with them. So from the distance, if you walk into bus or at metro, everybody could look. You could look and see the people, that all people, they're kind of close. They're quite, do not smile. They're quite like distant. But if you would start to speak with any of these people, this person immediately will they will like you. I mean, it's our Russian feature that we are very cautious to strangers, but if person made a contact, we become very warm and very but it's warmness not artificial. Like in USA, when people they say like how are you, and they do not care how are you for real. It's just tradition to ask. We do not have such things in Russia. You either you like people and you like they see that you like, or either you not. But I mean, most of people they have, it's like Russian hospitality. You call it, but then when people they are good to strangers, I'll say like this. Of course, you could meet some stupid drunken people sometimes. Yeah, all people different. I mean, in every country again, but it's kind of more or less white population. Like most of the people, they have this Russian character. Like Russian hospitality. I mean, it doesn't mean that they will give you bread and salt, as we call it, when you meet them. But it means that if you start contact, people will be nice to you. Yeah, and it will be like seniorly. I do not remember this word. Sorry. For real, they will be nice to you for real. This is good, very good thing about Russia, the Russian people. Our kind of like openness, but it's kind of closed. I mean, before you came to the person and you talk to it, it could look like he's grumpy. But if you would talk to the person, he wouldn't be grumpy. It's how it's in Russia. I do not know why it's so. I'm the same person too. So I think because we have like, it's like mimicry, you know. We have to be like, as we had very bad times in USSR, and then we had a lot of also like this 90s. We had also quite high criminal problems. So people get used to be like a bit grumpy on the street and a bit cautious, too cautious maybe. But still, what else? What's good in Russia? You see, I didn't prepare for this video. I just turned it on and I want to open my soul to you and to tell what I think from my head, not from the internet, not from Google. Another good thing, it's new generation of Russian people, I'll say, because they are much better than we are. I mean, new generation, even I'm quite old person, 35, almost 35 years old, and next generation after me, it's people who didn't saw USSR, and it's made them very freedom-like. I mean, Russian people, new generation, again, there are stupid and good people as always, but I mean, a lot of them, they're very good. They are smart, they are right, they feel what's right better than we are. So I have hope in Russia future, because of the new generation of people. It's another good thing in Russia. I mean, it's not a degradation. It's not, you go and see a hope in you people, in Russian people, and you could see a hope in Russian future, in future of this country, in this new generation. Of course, sometimes you could meet different people, and you could make a judgment at wrong person. But I mean, in general, I know, I look and I see a lot of different people. Even if some of their behavior could look maybe rude, could look stupid or something, but still, at least they have freedom which we didn't have, and it's important. I mean, I have a hope in them. Even, I mean, all over the world right now there is a problems. For example, in Europe there is a huge problem with migrants who came, and kind of they start creating their own rules. I mean, migrants came to your country, to Europe, and they say, okay, guys, you can't walk in short. You like to tell girls that they can't wear short shirts, and this is really stupid. I mean, why people who came to your country, they could tell they should follow your rules, and that's how it is in Russia. Nobody would tell you what to do in Russia. In Russia we have very special system. I mean, we have huge amount of different cultures in our country, and there is a regions where you have Muslim people, a lot of Muslim people. Okay, if you come there to these regions, they are quite far away from Moscow, for example. I didn't visit these places ever in my life, and I do not plan to. But yeah, they have their traditions. Okay, I think you should follow them if you come to this place, or they will just complain to you. But actually, kind of in any like common Russian place, nobody care what you do, what you wear. Everybody has their own freedom of will. And another thing, it's like in USA. So, I mean, in Europe there is immigrants who just tell their rules. In USA, this Black Lives Matter movement and this huge riots were destroying other people's property for nothing. I mean, why you destroy this person's shop? It's not him who made something bad. So, I mean, all over the world there are bad things happening, and in Russia we do not have these particular bad things. We have our own bad things. We have corruption. I mean, corruption from our state, our government. It's corrupted. They do something good sometimes, but in most cases they're wrong, and we have quite big opposition movement to struggle and to try to change something to better, and they do not give us our opposition chances to compete with them at elections fairly. But still, in time it changes. It changes everything. But I just see the Russia as a country which could maybe, yes, we a bit far away from modern wealthy countries, but we have in our country, in our culture, we have certain foundation, like stones, which hold our nation strong. Versus, we can't have problems with migrants or problems with some ethic problems which we can't solve, because it's kind of traditional Russian thing. We always had a lot of nations. We didn't had problems with racism or something like this. Okay, we have this problem. Every country has this problem. In Russia, it's also, but it doesn't come at such level. And okay, so this multiculturalism policy in Russia, it's always was multicultural country, but every culture had its own like region. So we do not have this problem. We already have these kind of systems, and they work, and everybody happy about it. So I mean, Russia. It's like cradle where which could actually overgrow their neighbors one day. Who knows? Who has problems which we do not have, and it's our advantage. It's another good thing about Russia. I mean, it has its own special way. Of course, we have a lot of problems. Yes, economical problems, mostly political, mostly, and also, I mean, ambitious to get back stuff which were taken, as our leader think, from us when USSR dropped apart. I personally, I do not care about other countries. I do not care about Ukraine, about Belarus, about all these countries. I think they should live their own lives, and we should look at our country. It's huge. We have our problems. We should solve it. I do not like military program, and no one in Russia likes it actually. And it's kind of ambition, I'll say, of small group of people who have power right now. Okay, I mean, every country, also US, for example, they have interests all over the world they use their military power to have profit from it. And Russia also tries to do it, but we do not have resources for such kind of stuff, I think. So I want to have a peaceful country. And actually, when you live in Russia, you wouldn't notice anything military. Yeah, because it's so huge country. You could only watch it at television, maybe, if you watch it, but not much people watch already. So I mean, okay, we have some maybe problems with our USSR heritage. It's like internal complexes. We feel, not we, but certain people from previous generation, Putin, he feel like some parts of his country, like Ukraine, was taken from USSR, and it should be part of Russia. It's like his complex, his own, and he translated all over the country. But actually, most of people, they do not care about it, and they just want to be good, so their family will be good, and we just want to have what we already have. We do not need more. Okay, so guys, it just was talk about what's good and what's bad. I think I missed a lot of points. I mean, there are much more stuff which is good and much more stuff which is bad, but still, maybe it was interesting for you to know some info. Hope to see your comments. Let's become friends. Tell me, what do you think about these pluses and minuses? What pluses do you have in your country and minuses? Share. I mean, similar to Russian, it will be interesting to know how it's in your country. Hope to see you. Bye bye. Come to Russia one day.